All right, guys, welcome back to the channel with a new video today where we are creating an expense tracker app, as you can see on the screen. But before we start, I just wanted to welcome everyone, all of the new subscribers that lately arrived on the channel. I've seen that the channel has been growing a lot lately, so it makes me really happy. So welcome. Thanks for subscribing. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comment section below. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Here on the channel, we're just coding apps. I'm helping you building your knowledge on Flutter, on mobile development, on startup creation and all this. And you'll see as the years goes on, we are gonna open up the area of the channel to more entrepreneurship kind of content. But for now, for today, we are sticking to Flutter and we are building this app. So as you can see on the screen, the design that I have is a design that I found on Dribble. It's a pretty cool design, and I thought it was interesting because, as you can see in the middle screen, there is kind of a chart, and there is a cool package in Flutter that's called Flutter Charts. And yeah, I wanted to use it with you guys and show you how it works because Flutter can be amazing to as well build KPI kind of application and you need those graph in order to make it visual. And so we'll focus on that today. I think the first this video is gonna be the UI side of it, and I'm inclined to leave it at that. But if you want to see a second part of this video where we perhaps make it dynamic using Firebase or using Hive, it's a local database, or SQLite as well, a local database, or hydrated block even that utilizes Hive, you just tell me in the comment section that you would like to see that, and perhaps I'll make a second part of this video where we make that thing dynamic. Or even as I'm thinking about it right now, I guess it's possible link it to a PayPal, or I think a PayPal account could be cool. Perhaps we can try to make that work. But for now, let's focus on that. We have the design on the screen, and so we are going to be building that. So I've already created a new Flutter project, so you know by now how to create a new Flutter project. But it's an empty one, and as you can see, it's running on the left side of the screen. So, before we start doing anything crazy, we are just gonna create the little files that we have. Even though it's going to be kind of a small project, I want to still be using the same architecture that I've been using for the entire videos that we've been doing. So, in order to do that, in the main.dart file, we're gonna delete everything except from the main function. And here we are going to create under lib folder a new file that's called app.dart, and we are going to create another file that's going to be called appview.dart. And I really recommend you all the time keep the same architecture, even if it's a small project, because you never know. Perhaps later on you will want to make it evolve over time, and if the architecture is already here, that's a huge relief in clarity for you to be able to build up on that. So we have those files. Now let's create some folders. So we have the screens folders under the lib one, and we will not need, I think, the components folder. Yeah, and perhaps just as a side note, I'm going to create the blocks folder here as well, but we won't be needing blocks for now since we are just focusing on the UI. So the main.dart file is here. So now let's go into the app.dart and create a stateless widget that we are going to call my app. Okay, I can save that. Go back to the main.dart and import. It's not going to let us do that because, yeah, of course, here instead of sorry, in the main.dart file, instead of main app, we're just going to call my app. Save that thing. Okay, and refresh everything. Perfect. So we can leave the main.dart file alone for now. And in the app.dart file, I mean, that's where you would do your repository provider and all this kind of stuff. Your authentication block will be positioned here. For now, we're not going to do that. I'm building it so if you want to, you could make it, but here I'm straight up gonna redirect to my app view, and we're going to create the app view file now. So the app view file is going to be a stateless widget as well. Stateless widget that we're going to call my app view. And as you know, guys, I'm coding alongside you also. I don't know how we are going to build it, but I'm sure we will figure it out. I have the coffee on the left side, and that's for sure going to be a good time. So here, what I did is just create a material app widget inside the my app view, and we're going to have title of this. That's going to be expense tracker. Gonna save that, and inside the app.dart file, I am just gonna import appview.dart and save that. Okay, perfect. So here in the appview.dart, we can start making some little changes. So first, the first thing I like to do is call this debug show checked mode banner and set it to false. And that shows something like this because we don't have any scaffold or theme or nothing under it, so that's fine. The other thing that we're going to do is theme, and here we're going to call theme data. And theme data, we're going to say color scheme and color scheme.light because that's a light app that we have. And so the background of our app is going to be white. I think, let me check. It's more like a light gray actually. So let's perhaps say gray shade 100. We can tweak that later on. Huh? On background, colors dot black. I think that's what we have. Indeed, that is what we have. So the primary color, I have them right there. So color 0xff, and then gonna go here, and that's 00b2e7. 00e2b7. Okay, 00e2b7, b2e7, 00b2e7. I've mixed that up. Sorry, and we are gonna have a secondary color as well. Up, secondary color. It's gonna be color same 0xff. So that's to call the hexadecimal kind of value for the color, and it says E064F7, E064, E064 F7, F7. Okay, and we have a ternary color, up color 0x FF, and make sure here you don't make a mistake. I had that already. If you put like a zero like this, which is a uppercase O, I mean, that's going to give you an error, but sometimes it won't give you an error, and you will find yourself debugging your app for ages, and it's just that kind of error. So yeah, make sure it's right. So FF8D, FF8D 6C. Okay. So that's the three colors that we have. So that's pretty cool. And I think that's pretty much it for now. We might want to have an yeah, that's it. Yeah, we don't have any more colors really. Those colors, we're just gonna call them. That's for the gradient that we've just said. Yeah, that's gonna be all right. So for the theme, that's all we're gonna need for this app. And then we're gonna have a home parameter that's here normally where you would have your block builder that would redirect you if you're authenticated or not, either on the login screen or inside the app. Here I am just gonna call home screen because we're not gonna do the authentication for this app and home screen. So that's an error for now, but that's fine because we're gonna create it right now. So under the screens folder, we are gonna create home. And perhaps for now, we're also going to create another folder that we'll call profile. So we have several, yeah, so we have several folders here. And so under the home, we're going to have views as a folder, views. And I can add as well blocks, but we won't need that for this video. But it's just for you in order to understand how you should normally be treating your folders. And I have an entire video dedicated to clean architecture. So if you want to learn more about clean architecture, just go watch that video, and I think everything will be clear. So under views, I'm going to create a new file, and I'm going to call home screen.dart. Okay, and here I'm gonna for now just create a stateless widget that I'm gonna call home screen. Save that up, and here in the app view, I'm just gonna import the screen that we've just created. Save that thing, and yes, that's working. Perfect. Up, just adding the constant. And here we have a placeholder, so that's fine. And you see that this thing went away because now we have a material app, so that's translating into a widget, so that's fine, that works. Now, well, let's start building it, shall we? So, um, we have a bottom navigation bar. What I usually do for those bottom navigation bar is use a package that's called persistent, something like this, persistent bottom navigation bar. I told myself perhaps today we could try to make it different, using the stock Flutter bottom navigation bar. So let's see how would that translate? Perhaps, yeah, let's see that. So I'm just going to drag that to my other screen so I know what I am building. And let's get started. So the home screen, we have a scaffold. Let's do that. Okay. So under this scaffold, we're going to have an app bar. That's going to be app bar, right? At the very top, you see it's white. And we are going to have, let's try the bottom navigation bar. So bottom navigation bar, I don't use it. I don't use it as much as perhaps I should. I don't know. The package is really, really, really good and very well constructed. So I kind of like using it. But let's see how the Flutter default stuff is working. So apparently it's a list of bottom navigation bar items, and you're required to put an icon to it. So Cupertino icons, up, Cupertino icons. And the first one is gonna be the home. So yeah, let's take that. And he's not happy about that thing because I need to put an icon widget around that. And if I save that, he's gonna say, yes, that I need two items. All right, so let's add another bottom navigation bar item and call it, I don't make it like, I don't know, graph perhaps. Graph, something like this. Something like this. Okay. Refresh the app. What's happening? Non-nullable label failed. Label. So apparently I have a label stuff here that I didn't address. So it's a string label. So that would be home, and that would be label. That would be, I don't know, stats. For now, that'd be fine. Okay. So they don't know the Cupertino icons because I need to import the package. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Perspec.yaml file. So we're going to import Cupertino icons right here. I'm just going to go into the pub.dev. Tac. I'm just going to bring that up for you guys. Up. Cupertino icons. It's this one. Up, you can just take it and paste it inside your dependencies. Save that. That's going to do a pub.get and refresh the app, and that should work. Yes, that works. Amazing. Okay, good. So next up. So those icons, I just would like to have a background that is different here. So can I do that? Color, perhaps fix background color, colors.white. Okay, good. Perhaps there is a shape background, a shape parameter. Show selected labels. If I say false, label, selected label style, unselected label, or show unselected label, false as well. Perfect. I don't like labels. So that's good. And then I would like to add a curve around a radius at the edge of the bar. I don't know if I'm able to do that. Let's see. First, there is some perhaps an elevation parameter. Okay, so by default, it should be something like this, right? Elevation, elevation. Uh, you've seen it. Elevation here. Well, I've set it to 3. Okay, fair enough. Let's try to see if we can change the shape. Um, Landscape layout, perhaps that's something like this. Uh, Type. Let's try type. What is type? Bottom. What is the thing? No, not this. Defines the layout and behavior of the bottom navigation bar. Doubt that's this. Has fixed width, the location and size of the bottom navigation bar animates and label fades when they're typed. That's cool. Oh, yeah, no, thank you. No, thank you. Well, the button are very good, are very big on this thing. Okay. Um, I'm gonna try and go see if I can find how to add some radius, and I'll be back with you in just a second. Well, that was really not that hard. I've just saw that you can actually wrap your bottom navigation bar with any type of widget because this accept actually any kind of widget as you can see here and not just a bottom navigation bar widget. So that makes it super easy because you can then customize the decoration with a container that you could put above it, right? So here I have my 2 items right there with the radius that was just provided by the clip R rect widget that's just here. So I guess that's it for the bar, but now it's onto the big button in the middle to add an expense. And so for that, I thought maybe we can do a floating action button. And again, in the persistent, let me show you the package actually. If you never been on the challenge, persistent navbar, if I say that, it should give it to me. Yeah, that's the you can use the V1, you can use I use the V2 now. But basically it's this kind of package and it keeps the state of your app going through the entire life cycle of it all, and you have so many different options of customization. And if you want to customize it yourself, you can create a branch from the GitHub and create your own style that you would like. So basically we want to go for something like this, right? So that would have been super easy, just use the style 15 of it, but I think we can make it homemade. So now if I add a floating action button to our code, and I say floating action button, and I add the onPress method that I just keep at null for now, we have a floating action button. So now I want to access the location of the floating action button. Floating action button location. So that's actually a scaffold parameter, guys. And here it takes a floating action button location widget. And I think you can directly access the locations here. Yeah. So now that would be, let me see, center dock. Yeah, center dock, that's pretty much what we are going for. Yes, that's exactly what we're going for. So amazing. I just want it to be round. I guess it's here, perhaps in the shape. They've changed some stuff with Material 3 release and all that. So I will I mean, we doesn't really matter for now, really. Um, Up. And here I'm gonna add a child parameter that's gonna be an icon, and our icon is gonna be Cupertino icons.add. Yes, exactly like this, and add the constant parameter to it. That looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Um, I think you can access, yeah, you can access here large or small. That's huge. So that's not what we are looking for here. But we can definitely access the shape of it. I'm gonna look and I'm gonna tell you just in a second. Yes, yes, nothing really important to it. It's just the shape parameter of the floating action button that you just need to set to circular border, and that will give you a circular button right there. So that's really straightforward. And just like that, we have looks like a custom navigation bar right here. So the home screen is actually going to act kind of as, let's say, a distribution center between our home, our expense, our ad expense screen, and our kind of statistic screen here, right? Because we want to be able to move from one to the other and have still the bottom navigation bar stay at the bottom, right? So that's going to be kind of the entry point of it all, right? So I want to add perhaps the gradient to the button because in the design it's playing a lot with this gradient. So how could we add the gradient? Perhaps it's here. It's absolutely not here. It's in colors, I suppose. Background color, but that's gonna accept only one color. Can we do gradient? We can't do gradient. Um, Let me look it up. That's super easy. The floating action button has a decoration. Ah, I thought it had. Um, they lied to me. Doesn't have. Ah, but yeah, but it's in the child parameter. Here I'm just gonna wrap my icon with a container. And here I'm gonna access the decoration parameter of the container, which is going to be a box decoration. Oh la la, not that at all. Box decoration here, and here you have gradient that you can add. What kind of gradient are we going to add? Linear gradient. Yeah, let's see how that goes. Colors. So for the gradient, how are we going to do that thing? So let me just check it up because I have it right here. Um, Tick, 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 tick. Yes, so the gradient is going to be here a list of colors. So our colors are going to be the first one, theme.offContext.color scheme.primary. And we're going to add the secondary and the ternary. Secondary and ternary. If I save that, yes, that's a bit how we want it. Um, So here perhaps we also need to add the shape of it that is circle. And we are gonna need to add perhaps a width and yeah, a width and a height for this container. So if I add a width of 60 and a height of 60, how does that look? Because yeah, because the floating action button is 60 by 60, so that works very well. Yeah, so I think that's what we had on the actually the colors are just on the other in the other order in the design. So I'm just gonna take that up. It's it's what? It's primary here. Yes, something like this. Okay. Uh, and they're a bit tilted at an angle in our design. So perhaps we need to tilt a bit this gradient by not going from right to left, but by going from here to here. So I'm gonna look it up how to do that, and I will be back with you guys. All right, guys, I got it. It was super easy actually. You just need to access the transform parameter of the gradient and add the gradient rotation. And here we want to rotate p divided by 4, right? So here you're at 0, here you're at p divided by 2, all right? And we just want to rotate it 45 degrees, so p divided by 4. So that's exactly what we did right there. So that's pretty cool. And that's pretty much what we're going to do throughout the entire app for the UI, rotating in one sense, rotating it in the other one. So yeah, so we have here our bottom navigation bar that looks amazing. And now let's create the screen itself. So as I look at it in the design, actually I'm gonna comment the app bar because it doesn't look like we really do have an app bar on this app. We kind of do, but I want to make it different. So we have our home screen right here, but to create the UI inside, I'm going to create a new file actually within the same folder that I'm going to call main screen dart. And here I'm going to make a stateless widget that I'm going to call main screen. Okay. And this is going to be a column. Okay. That has some children. And here in the home screen, on the body parameter, I'm going to call for now only main screen. Okay. So now let's create the main screen. So at the very top, we'll have a row. So at the very top, we have a row that takes some children. We have a container that's going to be, let's say, 40 by 40. Yes. We're going to add some decoration to it, box decoration. The shape is going to be a circle. And we are going to say that the color is going to be yellow. Why is he not happy? Undefined name colors. Yeah, because I need to import material, otherwise he is not happy. Now he's happy. Okay. Gonna save that up. Yeah, you see it's at the very top here, and I don't want it to be at the very top. So here I'm gonna wrap my column. I'm gonna try this safe area widget. Yeah, that's a good widget to use when you don't have app bar. And I'm gonna wrap as well my column with a padding. And this padding for now is only 8, but I want it to be more. I want it to be perhaps double. Uh, yeah, something like this, I guess. Let's go with 20 for now. Yeah, 20 is fine. Okay. Yeah, 20 is all right. And perhaps we make that 50 instead of 40. Yeah, that's okay. I just don't want it to be, I'm gonna, instead of it saying whole, I'm gonna say symmetric right here, and I'm gonna say horizontal 20. Yeah, because here it's already in the safe area, so that's fine. Yeah, so I'm gonna add that. So that's the first container that we have right here. Then I'm gonna add a column widget within this row, and the first one is gonna be a text. And so this text is going to be up, welcome. And the other text under it is going to be my name, for example, but here it's going to be John Doe. John Doe. Yes, perfect. So here we're going to add a size box to make it a little bit more clean and 8. How does that look? Yeah, that looks all right. And we're going to add some styling. Okay, so for this, I'm going to add style, text style. Textile, and here this is gonna be font font size first. Let's try something like 10, 12 perhaps. Yeah, 12. We're gonna do font weight dot semi bold. That looks all right. And the color of it, I'm gonna make it gray. So color, mm, color, and perhaps we're gonna add the color app view here. We're gonna have like a, I don't know, outline. Yeah, okay. We're gonna say colors dot gray dot shade. Yeah, okay. Dot shade, perhaps 300, 400, 400, 400. And here I'm gonna say theme dot of content dot color dot outline. He's not happy because of the constant keyword. Yeah, yes, perhaps I can just say gray here. App view. Yeah, gray is fine. Great, all right. Good. And now the John Doe as well needs some styling. So I'm just going to copy what I've just done and just paste it right here. But I want that to be at least 14. I want that to be completely bold. And that I want to be on background. Yeah, I want even it to be more big. Okay, and here in the column, in the cross-axis alignment, I'm gonna stay start. Okay, that looks all right. That looks all right. Perhaps here, what we can do is instead of this ugly yellow accent perhaps is better. Oh, it's worse. It's worse. Uh, is there a better alternative to that? Yellow, yeah, yellow 800. Yellow 800. Let's get rid of the constant. Yeah, that's better. And perhaps 700. 700 is okay. Right. That's good. I want a little bit more padding. Yeah, that's gonna be okay. And I'm just gonna say as well, um, vertical here, and I'm just gonna add a 10 pixel padding to the top just to say we have some good. And I want to add perhaps a little icon right here on top of it. So I'm just gonna wrap my container with, I'm just gonna wrap with a column that I'm going to change into a stack just now. The stack as well takes a children as a parameter, and if you wrap it by with a container, you save yourself the trouble of having to reorganize all the code. So I'd recommend every time that you want to add a stack, you wrap with a column. That will save you time. And for now, here I'm just going to say icon Cupertino icons icons, yes, dot person person, yeah. Which one's good? I mean, person field, perhaps that's better. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And now alignment dot center. Yep. And I'm gonna make that thing gray. Okay. Accessing the color parameter and theme dot of content dot color scheme dot outline. Yeah, that works. That's all right. We can do better by adding a better one, but that's fine. That's fine. For now, it's okay. Or we can make it, I mean, something that you would perhaps want to do every time that you create some sort of stuff like this is to have a deeper color from the background. So if I say 900 here, that makes more sense. Even 800, that makes more sense, right? That's perhaps a little bit more discreet. So we are going to rock with that for this thing. Okay, and there is a button here at the very end of it all in our design. And you might be a bit worry here because we have a stack widget, we have a column widget, and those two things, they are on the left. And we don't want them to be, we want them to stay here on the left. And we want to have another one that is at the very end here. And the thing you could do is say, right, so I want to have this icon button. Let's make an icon button. Okay, and this icon is gonna be Cupertino icons dot wheel. I don't know dot parameters, but I don't know settings. They might have called it as setting. And see, this setting button is right there. You want perhaps to wrap that thing with an alignment widget, an align widget, and set the alignment to something like alignment dot center right. Okay, but the thing is, it's not going to expand to nothing. So here you might say, right, so I'm perhaps going to say main axis size dot max, right? You save that and nothing happens. But if you wrap your row with a container and you passed a color to it to see what's going on, you see that the row actually expands to the very end, right? But your specific widget, your icon here, is not moving anywhere here, but it should be, right, because it's center right, the alignment that you've put there. And so I found that this is annoying. And because you want those things to stay here, you can't just say in your main row, main axis alignment and main axis alignment dot space between, because that will indeed put that thing here, but this thing is as well now in the middle, and you don't want it to be in the middle, you want it to be on the left. So you might say, right, so I'm going to align that thing as well, align, and I'm going to align this column to alignment dot center left, right? And that's not working neither, all right? So perhaps what you might want to do is say, I'm going to use a wrap instead, okay? Instead of a row. And you're going to say wrap here. You're going to say direction. Um, yeah, no. But I mean, all of those things to say that the best thing that you could potentially do in order to do that, let me see how the wrap works. I don't remember. Yes, yes, yes. So just that's just not going to help us in our case. So all of that to say that the best thing that you can do is having a row inside a row. All right. So here we can delete all that. We can delete our align widget right here, and we can delete our align widget right there as well. So we are left with something like this, as we had at the beginning. All right. So we are going to separate this row from this item right there. So inside our row, our big row that we have right here, we have this item and we have this item, okay? And that's it for the row. I just want to close it and I want to remove our icon and save that thing. And I'm gonna wrap my row with a bigger row, okay? And within this row, under that row, that's a lot of rows, I'm gonna have that. But, and you say, right, but that's the same, what do you do? But here now I can say, in the big row, I can say main axis alignment dot space between, and that's gonna put that thing on the right. And that's that. That's pretty cool, right? Yeah, all of that to say just this, but you can wrap your row with a bigger row in order to make the thing not move. So that's exactly what I did right there. So you have your button at the very right. Okay, good. Let's move on. So what do we need to do now? We are going to create the big credit card. So it's going to be under the row, the big row. Okay, it's going to be here. So we're going to do a container to do that. And this container is going to be width. We're going to say double the infinity. And we're going to say that the height is probably going to be 500, something like this. We're going to add a decoration parameter and say that the color for now it's just going to be red. And we're just going to see what's there. So 500 was clearly ambitious. So I need to have perhaps media query, the off context dot size dot width. So that's going to give me a square. I'm going to divide that thing by 2 and I'm going to have a credit card. Perfect. And here, instead of having infinity, I'm just going to have I'm just going to have the width. I'm going to have a size box right here with a height of 20, just to separate everything. And yeah, I think 20 is good. Perhaps we can make it a little bit more, but that's going to be all right. So in our container, we're going to do a border radius. So we're going to have some radius that's going to be circular. 20 should be all right. 20, perhaps 30. Yeah, 30 is better. So we have a 30. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit much. So 25. Yeah, 25 is good. And on this thing, we are going to have a gradient as well. So remember how we created the gradient previously? We're just going to grab it and just put it right there. So navigate to the home screen and take the gradient parameter that we have. And here within our decoration, remove the color parameter and just paste your gradient and save that. And you need to import math. And that's that. That's pretty cool. We have the colors that are inverted in this particular thing. The primary is the first and the ternary is the last one. So that's something like this. That looks pretty amazing. And within the card, now we're gonna create some content. So inside the child parameter of our container, we are gonna create a column. Yep. And a column has some children. Oh la la, sorry for the typos. A column has some children. The first one is going to be a text widget that's going to say like total balance. Going to save that. We're going to create the style later on, right? We just create the widgets for now, and later we'll create the styles. The other one is going to be for the yeah, the total balance itself. So perhaps let's keep what we had on the design. And under that, that is not a text widget that we're gonna have, but we're having a row. And within the row, we're gonna do another two sets of rows. I know that's a lot of rows, but that's how you create cool UIs in Flutter. So that's pretty cool. So the first one is going to be we're gonna say how we're gonna create that. Yeah, container. I would say container. We're gonna straight up say width. That's gonna be something like 20, and the height that's gonna be something like 20 as well. And straight up access the decoration parameter with a box decoration. And here we're going to say that the color of this is going to be something like colors.white, but something transparent. So it's perhaps something like 30. And the shape of it should be a circle. Um, so we have that. And then within that thing, we're going to access the child parameter, set it to the center, and have an icon that's going to be a Cupertino icon or an icon itself, huh? That's your choice really, and that's gonna be arrow down or something like this. Arrow down. Yes. Okay. He is not happy at all. Um, why? Why? Tell me why. Use const to too many positional arguments. Yes. Okay. I know why you're not happy. Now you are happy. Good. Okay, well, that's pretty much what we wanted, except it's too big. So let's make it smaller by accessing the size and let's say 12. Yes, that's exactly something that we could work with. So let's add those things, the constant parameters, so we don't have blue everywhere. And since I've created a row, now I want to have a text widget. No, another column now. Okay, column widget that takes a children parameter. And here I'm gonna have two text widget. So I'm just gonna copy those and paste them here. They are not gonna say total balance. They are going to say income. And the other one is gonna say, yeah, 2,500, yeah, something like this. Okay, don't need that. Yep. Good. And perhaps we say that. So we say consistent. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And now we want to say that the column, so the cross-axis alignment is going to be start. Yes. And we're going to add a little size box to this thing with, and this is going to be like 12 or something like this. See how that looks. That looks all right. Perhaps it's a little bit big. 8. Yeah, okay, well, doesn't really matter. Add the constant everywhere, can save that. And I'm gonna make the thing a little bit bigger, the circle a little bit bigger, yeah. Good. And so now let's create the I'm gonna have the same thing here with another stuff, but since it's going to be the same, we can do the styling now, and so I can just copy on the other side. So the style of the total balance is gonna be a text style. It's gonna be font size, let's say 14. How does that look? That's already what's there. So yeah, perhaps 16. Yeah, total balance. The color is gonna be white, colors.white. And the font weight is gonna be something like semi-bold. Yeah, okay. That will work. Let's do the same for the thing here, except I want that to be bold, and I want that to be like 30 or something like this, even bigger, like 40. Yeah, something like that. Um, that looks cool. I'm using euro, you can use dollars, doesn't really matter. Up. Yeah, if you want to use dollar, you have to escape the character. Otherwise, it's waiting for a variable. So that's that. And then for the income, so let's take the style and have it paste it right here. So the income is going to be not 16, but something like 14. Yeah, 14, it's fine. And I want that to be like 400. Yeah, 400. And I'm gonna copy this style and paste it here, and that I want it to be like 500 or 600. Yeah, so it's a bit more clear. Okay. So the income here, we can change the color of the arrow here. So color, perhaps we say colors.green accent because we don't see a thing. Okay, good. Um, Yeah, okay, that looks all right. Now what we want to do is say that our column is going to be main axis alignment dot center, and we're going to have some size box here. It's going to be height of like 20 or something like this. Okay, perhaps something less like 14, 12, 12. Let's settle with 12, and let's add the same thing right here. Up. Okay, good. And inside our big row here, we also want to add some padding. We want to add some padding, but it's going to be like some horizontal padding. So let's say symmetric. And since we are doing symmetric kind of stuff, we can say first that the vertical padding is going to be 12, so we can get rid of that thing. And the horizontal padding, let's say 20 or something like this. Yeah, 20 is fine. Okay, good. So we have that. Um, yeah, okay, good. Tag tag. Now let's create the same thing that we had there, the same row. So I'm just gonna copy that thing. And so if you are to create like a real world app, those widgets that you just copy, you can just make one big widget out of it and just call that widget a bunch of time, right? In order to not have your code being repeating all the time. So that's better, and that's more sustainable for you to maintain. So we have expenses, and let's say that you have 800 euros, and that the color is gonna be red. Okay, good, perfect. So that's it for the credit card. I think it looks good. We can have some elevation to this, so we can add some box shadow to it. Where is our container? Is here. So we have that, but under the border radius, we can add some box shadow. Okay. So let me think about how this thing work. We have box shadow, and there is so the color default is that. So if I just save that, yes, nothing's happening. I want to say that the blur radius is going to be 2, and the spread radius 2 as well. No, not 2, 1, 0. Okay, no spread radius. And the color of this thing is gonna be colors dot gray and something like 300 or something, 400s perhaps. And I want it to be a bit more offset. So here I'm gonna access the offset parameter, and offset, and I'm gonna say 5, perhaps 5, thing like this. That's a little bit, yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Just make it a bit shallower. Yeah, that looks cool. That looks cool. Blur radius, perhaps 5 or something like this. Yeah, 4. Yeah, you see, with the UI, it's a lot of tweaking if you don't have any designer or something, but that will work. That looks good. You kind of have the feeling that it pops out, but without having it really clearly defined. Because if you have something like, if you put something like black here, that's just going to be too much. See, like you might say, all right, that looks pretty cool, but it's too intense. Okay, so you want it to be subtle. You want the user to kind of feel that it's popping up, but without having it popping up really. Okay, so that's the whole point of this thing. So that's done for the card. So now I'm gonna be right back and we're gonna jump on the other thing. All right, let's continue then on our expense tracker app. So let's deal with the transaction now. So at the bottom of what we've just created, we are here. We're gonna add a row that takes some children that never changes with some text. Here we're gonna say transactions. Save that. Yes, that's good. Add some size box. We say 20 earlier, so we're just going to keep it consistent. That's the main key every time, and you want to be consistent in the choices that you made throughout the app in order to keep like the same vibe going, right? For it, we're gonna add some text, some style, yes, to the text. This text is gonna be here not white, but theme.of_context.color_scheme.on background. It's not happy because we've put that a constant. Perhaps I want it to be 16. Yeah, a little bit bigger. And I want that to be bold as well. Why not? Yes. Transaction. And you can put as well, that's the whole point of having a row, view all. And here main axis alignment, the space between, and the view all is going to be way more subtle. So it's going to be like 14, and this is going to be like outlined, so gray, yeah, gray. And here I don't want it to be bold, I want it to be like normal. Yeah, view all, something like this. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, okay. And you perhaps want that to be clickable, right? So you might want to wrap your, not your row, but your view all with a gesture detector. And then you can access the on-tap parameter of it and redirect to another screen that view all of the operation right there. So, okay, we have our row that's just displayed here. Gonna grab the size box, just paste it under the row, and we are good to go. As I can see on my design, it's the height is 20, the size between here and here is different. Here is actually, I think, double. So that's what I am going to do as well. Okay. Now we're going to create a list view, okay? So let's go for the list view. Tac. List view. We're going to create a list view, yes. How are we going to do that? I'm just thinking because I can show you what we have right there. Let me show you up. That's what we are creating right now. So the list view that we have is kind of depending on the data, right? I'm intent and I'm biased because I'm always creating dynamic apps to create a list view builder because the data is going to be gathered from a database, and within the data that we have, we can create a list view right here. So perhaps we are going to create some mockup data that we're going to store inside our app in order to be able to call this list view builder right here, because otherwise the options that you have is to create a column or a list view itself. But yeah, okay, we're gonna create some mockup data. So we're gonna say list view builder. We can prepare that thing. List view builder. The number of items is going to be defined by the length of the list that we're going to create, but we can create the item builder right here. It takes the context and an integer, okay? And it's going to return what? It's going to return a container. Yes, okay, good, like this. It's going to return a container, and this container has a decoration parameter, box decoration, and the color is going to be white. Um, has some radius to it, border radius that's circular, let's say 12. And yes, and just to then the child parameter of it is going to be a row that takes some children, as always. And the first thing we have is going to be a container. Containers, rows, list view, I mean, you name it, and we are going for it. So the container is going to be a width of 30, I guess, and a height of 30, and has some decoration, which is a box decoration. Um, the color, we're going to make those things dynamic with the little list that we're going to create. For now, we're going to say color is going to be yellow. So that's that. So if I save it, yes, of course. Up, item count, let's say 3. Up, and he's not happy because what's happening? Uh, has size, yes. Because we are within a column, I'm gonna wrap my list view in an expanded widget. Let's see if that solves the hate that he has for me. Yes, it did. Good. Within our box decoration here, I forgot to say that the shape was going to be a circle. Okay. 30 is really, really small. So let's say 50. Yes. And I am going to add some padding to all of this. I'm going to say, I think 12, something like that. Yeah, 12. 12 looks fine. And I'm going to add some padding as well to the container itself. And I'm going to say that this padding is only going to be only only bottom. Is that going to work? Or otherwise I'm going to make it symmetric. Yeah, only bottom, that works. And here I'm going to make like 16 or something like this. Yeah, okay, good. um so the padding here, I want it to be a little bit bigger, like 16. Yeah, okay. Good. So we have that. So we have our container. Then we have our text widget. That is going to be for now, let's say food, right? I'm going to save that. Add a little size box to separate them. Not a size box, I said, with the width of like 12 or something like this. Yeah. Um, good. I'm going to take the style from somewhere, like here, and add some styling to the text widget. If I save that, good. I don't want that. I want to be on background, and that I want to be like perhaps like 500. Yes. And yeah, perhaps 16. Yeah. I want it to be a little bit smaller. Yeah, 40 was fine. 40 was fine. Good. And now the last thing that we want to do for this stuff here is to add a column that takes some children parameter, and those things are going to be both text widgets. So I'm just going to take that, paste it right here, and take it again and paste it again. Good. Well, it's a bit not good, but it's okay. So the first one we're gonna say like minus $45. And this I want to be on background. Perhaps that I want to be 400. Yeah. And this I want to be the color. I want it to be outlined. and I want to say that this is going to be 400 as well, and I want to say like today. Yeah, good. And so now we are facing the same problem than earlier here. So to face this problem, guys, I hope you paid attention. I'm gonna wrap my row with a row, and I'm gonna take my column right here, and I am just you can just take it, or you can just like move down, move widget up, move widget up. Uh, I don't have move widget down, so that's okay. And I'm gonna paste it right here. And now in my biggest row, main axis alignment dot space between. Ta-dam! Magic. So we can save that. And I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. So now in order for it to be final, we are gonna wrap our container with a column that we are gonna change into a stack. Okay, just like that. And we're gonna add under our container, we're gonna add an icon. Cupertino icons dot I don't know, burger. Do they have a no, they don't have a burger. They're no fun. Perhaps icons as a burger. They don't have burgers. Losers. Food. Yeah, that's ugly. But that will do for now. Alignment dot center. Okay. And I want the icon to be colors dot white. Okay. All right. So let's put that as like 700 because this is very ugly. Okay. So we have now a few problems. First, we have a list view that is of length 3. So if I increase that, if I say 6, for instance, I can go down here and scroll. That's pretty cool. But the data is the same everywhere here. So normally the data would come from the database, and you would use Bloc to get the data and have the right icon, have the right name, and the expenses as well on point, right? So we can create actually a little list of data that we can use within our app that's going to be fixed. And as I told you at the beginning of the video, if you want to make it dynamic later on, I can make a second part where we create some sort of a database in order for it to be dynamic. So under the lib folder, I'm just creating a new folder that I'm going to call data, and a new file that I'm calling data.dart. And so within this file, I'm going to create var my data, and this is going to be a list, yes, a list of map. So what do I need? So I need an icon. Just gonna list the parameter that I need. I need an icon. I need a name. Yeah, I need a name. I need uh, um, total amount. Yeah, and I need the date. Let's say. Okay. So that's the thing that I need. So for the date, we're gonna just say we're not gonna say date times. We're just gonna say today. For the total amount, like for example, we're gonna say minus 45, minus 45. Yeah, 0.00. Uh, tag. We can just yeah. Up. I don't know how my keyboard works anymore. Great, good. The name here is gonna be food, okay? And the icon, I mean, those icons are terrible, but let's say Cupertino icons dot food. Do they have something? Uh, I'm just looking. Huh? I'm gonna look for an icon and I will be right back. All right, so I've just went with the awesome Flutter package right there. It provides some cool icons, and I think we're gonna find what we want because they have a burger icon. So if they have a burger icon, they know what they're doing clearly. So let's copy that and create another entry, and this is gonna be perhaps shopping. Oh la la, shopping. Okay, minus 280 and 30. Well done. Um, that was today as well. Okay. I need another parameter. It's color. In here, I want color dot yellow 700. Yes. Why? Okay. And here, I want colors dot purple. Okay. That was today as well. And if I say shopping, perhaps shopping bag shopping, that should do it. Let's add another one that we are gonna call, I don't know, health minus, I don't know, 679. That's fine. That was yesterday. We're gonna put some green. If I say health, heart, yes, that will do. And I saved that. So for now, we're just gonna go for maybe another one. Come on, just another one. Gonna call travel, and this is gonna be, I don't know, blue. Yeah, blue. Plain, yes, minus 350, and that was yesterday as well. Okay, let's save that. Okay, we have our little mockup data. Okay, so now we're gonna call it mine main screen data. Okay, or my transactions data. Okay, just transaction data. Okay, save that. Let's go back to the home screen. No, to the main screen. Here, we're gonna say transaction data dot, gonna import that thing and then dot length. Okay, I'm gonna save that. So normally we should have 4 in length. That's what we have. We have 4 in length right here. That's cool. And so now we're gonna make it dynamic. So here, instead of having to call the color straight up here, we're going to say transaction data, access the current parameter, and say that we call color. Perhaps that's like this, dot color. Wait. Let me check something real quick. Yes, so the only thing that you need to change in your transaction data is that it's a list of map string dynamic in order to be able in the main screen to call something like this. So we have the colors, the dynamic colors that we've assigned to our specific items. So that's pretty cool. Then the text here is not going to be color this time, but it's going to be, I think we've called that name. So let's just utilize this. Yes, that works good. Then here the text is not that, but is total amount. Total amount. So I'm gonna save that. Okay, that works. And I think the last one is called date. Yes, exactly. So we have kind of something that is dynamic. So that's pretty cool. We have here something that is centered, but perhaps we want to align that thing to the end. Where is that thing? It's here in the column. So perhaps we're going to say cross-axis alignment dot end. And so we have that pinned down to the right. And so yeah, so that's it for this screen, guys. I think it looks amazing. You can adapt the colors to different kind of stuff. Oh, no, no. One last thing, it's the icon right there that we didn't change. So it's here. We want to, instead of having this terrible food bank stuff, actually we can just do something like this. And the name is icon. So let's just call icon up. Yeah, cool. And we have our customized icon, and we want to have the color that is white. So we're gonna add that into the data. Hop, just gonna copy that and paste it everywhere. Okay. I don't know if that worked. Yes, good, amazing. Well, this screen looks good, no? I think it looks amazing. So you've seen basically how you could create your own expense app, very straightforward. I mean, this screen is very straightforward, and it looks amazing. It looks very good, and I think for the user, it would be enjoyable to be able to customize the icons, customize the colors, and all this kind of stuff. Um, we need to focus on to the creation of an expense, but we are not gonna make it dynamic, right? I think what we're going to focus on right now is just the chart that I showed you at the very beginning. I can pop up the design right there so you can see. So we've created that. Okay. So if you look at what we've done, up, if you look at what we've done, that's exactly pretty much what we have, right? That was the design idea, and that's what we've managed to create. So I think we've done pretty good. And now I really want to focus on this part. This part is optional. I think we will add it in the second part of the video if we make that thing dynamic. But for now, I want to create that, and then I think we're gonna call it a day. Okay, so all right, guys. So for the next screen, so we are going to focus on the transaction screen. All right. So the package that we are going to be using is the Flutter FL chart package right here. So this is a very cool package if you want to display content, display data. They have so many different types of graphic that you can have, and they are highly customizable. See how you can do with, I mean, it's endless the possibility that you have with this package. So we're just going to focus on a simple bar chart, right? So something like this that we're going to do exactly like we have on our design right there. So how are we going to do that in our app? So first, where are we going to do that? I think on this screen. So here on our home screen.dart, we are returning main screen straight up, right? But we can actually have this bottom navigation bar here. We have an on-tap parameter for it that takes a value, which basically is the integer. Here, if we print the integer, print the value, we'll see if I pop the debug console, if I click here, it's 1. If I click here, it's 0. Okay, so we are gonna say to so we have a few different ways to do this. We are gonna do something like this. So we're gonna make that stateless widget stateful, and here we're gonna say var widget list, and we're going to make a list, and we're going to have main screen, and we're going to have stat screen. Okay, so for now we didn't create it the stat screen, but we're going to create it right now. So here under screen we have profile, but here I'm going to rename it stats, and under this folder I'm going to create a new file that I'm going to call stats.dart, and I'll create a new stateless widget stat screen. Okay, save that and import stat screen here. Okay, so um, so the thing that we are going to do is basically have as well here an integer index that we are going to call index. Okay, and by default it's going to be 0, right? So we want to by default be on this page. Okay, so we can say, I mean, both works, right? But we can say here, if index is equal to 0, then I want to return main screen. And we're going to say else if index is equal to 1, uh, we can directly, because we only have two screen. Otherwise, I want to return stat screen. Okay, so I'm going to save that. So if here, yeah, of course, here on the on tap, we need to set state and say that index is equal to value. And simply, just like this, we have it dynamically moving. All right, so we can delete the widget list. That's more straightforward, this method. Okay, so we are building this transaction stuff here. So let's build this screen, shall we? So we have here a column. Let's get the same kind of a first layout that we'd have on the main screen.dart. So I'm gonna pop that thing right here and scroll to the very top. We've done safe area and some padding. Just gonna copy the padding here, wrap the column that I've created in the stats with safe area, and wrap the column again with some padding, and paste the padding that we add into the main screen.dart. Okay, can add some constant stuff. And just like that, we can start building. So the column that we have, we're just going to keep it super simple because I see that the video is already long and the goal is to play with the graphic. So I'm going to just put a text widget that's going to say transaction. All right. I'm just going to style this a little bit because we're not animals neither. We want it to be a little bit beautiful. So let's get for the font size. That's going to be something like 20. And the font weight, that is going to be bold. Yes, something like that. Okay. So we have here up, and here we see that this color is not moving actually. So perhaps before we do anything, we might want to deal with the bottom navigation bar colors, I guess. So fixed color, if I say colors.red, is that the right parameter? Yes, it is. So I'm going to retake the same thing. Uh, let's see how we can do that. Selected item color, colors.red. Yes, okay, so up. Um, selected item creates a bottom navigation bar with its scaffolds. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let me see how we can switch the selected item in this thing. All right, so that's how we are going to do it. So we are going to set the we're going to directly set the color within our icons to selected and unselected colors. So we're going to create two variables right here. So two color variables. So we're going to say, so color selected item, and we're going to say that the selected item is going to be colored of context dot color scheme dot primary. We can't access the context right here. We'll access it in the init state. That's all right. Unselected item, and we're going to say colors dot gray for now. And just gonna access the init state and just say that this is gonna be late and that the selected item is equal to that. Up, yes, up, right there. And then inside our icon, so the home icon, so it's selected item. or unselected item. And I'm going to do the same for the other icon right here. Yep, that's okay. Was called before init state. Okay, so let's just keep that simple. I don't want to deal with that right now. Let's just say that this is going to be blue, and that's going to save us the trouble. Up, just going to save that thing. And yes, and here if index is equal to 1, and that works perfect. Okay, so we can go back to the stats, the transaction screen. So as I was saying, we have this transaction text right there, and now we're going to use the package. Okay, so let's grab some sized box. The height is going to be 20 or something like this. And let's see how the package work. So I don't really remember how it works by head, but we're gonna see it together. They don't provide any good example right here. I think from there I can kind of have the code that they were using. So first I'm going to import the package. That's one thing. Up into perspect.yaml file, FL chart. I'm going to save that thing in order to create a pubget. And then, I mean, for sure, the widget that we want to, it's bar chart, apparently. So we want to wrap that inside a container with, that's going to be media query dot of context dot size dot width, and the height is going to be the same, so we have a square. Okay, tack, tack. And let's just add a color to that just to see where we are working. Okay, good. And cross-axis alignment dot start. Okay. So I said we want a bar chart. And here we need some data, apparently. So let's look. Bar chart data. Bar. So here, bar chart data. Okay. Constant is not right with the keyword. What do you mean? The name data is undefined. It's not called data. Okay. Okay, good. So we have that going for us. Let's delete that so we see a little bit more. Okay. Um, So now let's customize this thing, shall we? Yeah, we have different kind of stuff. Group space, bar groups. Okay. Let me figure out a little bit how this thing works, and I will be back with you in just a second. All right, guys, I figured out how this works. So you see, I've managed to make it work. So we're going to create that thing together right now. So the first thing that we want to do is create here under stats a new file that we're going to call chart.dart. And here we're going to create a state. We're going to create a stateful widget that we are going to call my chart. Gonna save that, and here we're gonna call my chart. So I've been looking a bit at the example and playing with it in order for us to understand how it works. So we are here on my chart. So here the first thing that we are gonna do is not return a placeholder, but return bar chart. Okay. So for that, we already done that before. But here we are gonna return main bar chart. Okay. and we're going to create this method right now. So under under the build context right here, we are going to create our chart data that we called main bar data. Okay, let me check that I'm recording correctly. Everything is working. Okay, good. So here we are returning bar chart data. Okay, and return bar chart data. So a few things. So first parameter tiles data. So tiles data is going to be the different sides. So the bottom, the right, the top, and the left side of our graph right here. So tiles data, it's FL tiles data like this. And here we say show that it's going to be true because we want to show some of them. The right tiles, so here we have axis tile like this, and we say side tiles, and this takes a side tiles parameter, and we only say show tiles that it's going to be false. Okay, and we want to repeat kind of that process for the whole side, right? So here we have the right tile. Now we're going to do the top tile. Okay, same thing. We don't want to show nothing on the top tile. The bottom tile, we do want to show something. Okay, so here bottom tile, same thing, but here instead of have, well, we're just going to say false for now for everyone, and then we're going to customize. So left tile, okay, like this. Okay, good. I think, why is it not happy about that? Uh, let's add that right now so it's a bit more clear for us what's happening. Okay, now it's good. Okay, whatever. Main bar chart. Main bar chart. Yeah. Ah, sorry. Main bar chart. It's not main bar chart, it's main bar data. Yeah, that's what I'm creating right now. Okay, so as you can see here, we are not showing anything anywhere. If I were to say on the left side, I want to show something, so that's going to allow me to show something here, and I want to show something on the bottom as well. So that's opening the bottom as well. So for the bottom tile here, we said that we wanted to be able to see something. Okay, um, we're going to say that the reserved size is going to be 38, for example. So just it's the maximum spacing between those things, you know, every items. So that's that. And get tile widget, and for that we're going to call get tiles. Okay, so get tiles, we're going to create it right now. So get tiles is something like this. Up, it's widget get tiles. Okay, that's going to take a double that we're going to call value, as well as the tile meta. But I don't really know if we really need that thing, but perhaps let's get it anyway. Okay, so what do we want to do here? A few things. So first, we're going to create a widget, a text widget with the style. Okay, so that's what we're going to create. So we have a text style right here and a widget that is a text. Okay, and now we're going to do a switch statement. Okay, so this switch statement is based on the value, on the double that we have right here. Okay, and this we're going to take value dot to int in order to be able to create this switch statement. All right, and now we're going to say if the case is equal to 0, so if we are to the first one. Okay, I want to return at the bottom a text widget that is going to be something like this. Okay, and then if the value is 1, I want to return 0, 2, like we have on our design here. We want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's exactly what we are trying to do exactly here. So why is he not happy about that? Let me check. The expression of a constant variable. Yeah, okay. So let me take the switch statement that I have created alone tag. Okay, good. We have some kind of an error, but that's fine. It's gonna go away in a few minutes if I am right. But here at the end, we need to return a side title widget. That's exactly what we need to return. So under the switch statement right here, a side title widget, and we can save that. Um, I don't understand why he is not happy with me. Perhaps there is some error somewhere because we're using constant stuff. Right. Okay, that's better. Um, Invalid constant value. We don't need it to be constant, do we? Let me check. That's not constant, not constant. That should be okay. That should be okay. Um, Yeah, perhaps we need to create the other method right now. Let's see. Let's see, we're going to create the other method. So we have that get tiles for the bottom, and we have now to create as well what we want for the left side. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5K. Okay, so that's the stuff that we want on the left side. So it's the same thing. So I'm just going to copy the method I've created on my own and paste it right there. So under what we just created, left tiles, okay? And here it's going to be the same. We take a value, and here if the value is equal to 0, so if we're 0, we want to have 1K as the text. Here it's $1K, so perhaps we can say $1K and have exactly that all the way around. Up, up, up. Else we return a container, and we don't forget to return the side tile widget right there. That's gonna display everything that we need. Saving that, nothing is displaying because we don't have any data, obviously. So if we scroll up, we can add some constant value. See, the errors went away. Perhaps my computer is working a little bit too much right now, but that's gonna be okay. So if we go back to our here we have so the main bar data. So we've created the left tile, and now under the left tile, we want to access the border data parameter, border data. Okay. Yes, but that's not where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be here, I think. Left tile. Um, it's on the bar chart data. So where is this ending? Okay, there, perfect. Border data, and the border data is going to be FL border data. And here we are simply going to say that this is not going to show. Oh, I don't want any border, right? You see, I've saved it, so that's good. That's away. Now the grid data, see the grid on the screen. I don't want to see that. So FL grid data, same, show false. Now there is nothing anymore on the screen, so okay, but don't worry, we're gonna add something right now that's gonna add some stuff. Bar group, and here we're gonna say showing groups as a method, and we're going to create the showing groups right now. So we can create that over here above. Okay, so basically it's going to be a list of bar chart group data, same logic as we did before. Okay, and that's going to return a list. Okay, a list of bar chart group data. Okay, simple. So let me just do that, perfect. Okay, so what do I want to do here? I want to create a list of eight bar, okay? Because in our data we have 8 bar. We can create as many as we want. That doesn't really matter, okay? But make sure to create the right sized list and have a switch statement. Then that's going to loop through that list and create all of the widgets that we need. So I have prepared the switch statement. So the switch statement is right there. And here we need to create the make group data. And here you see we have a coordinate. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's X, and that's Y. Okay. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So right there. And let's create the make group data. So how the make group data, we can create it perhaps just above. So it's a bar chart group data, make group data, and I'm just making a function here because otherwise I would have to create the same group data, bar chart group data for the 8 points, and I don't want to do that. So let's create a method that's going to just do it for ourselves. So the integer is so the x parameter is an integer, and the y parameter is a double, because you can have a double here, but you could have a double at the bottom as well. The x parameter, the y parameter. Okay, I'm just making it so it's more simple for us, and that's going to return bar chart group data. And here, yeah, x is equal to x, so that's okay. And you could say, right, so starting from now, that's fine. We can just leave it at that and move forward. Because if I save that, you'd see that we have at the bottom all of our 8 stuff, but we don't see really anything, right? Because nothing is really displayed. So now we need the rod, we need the bar itself that comes there, right? So we access the bar rod parameter from it, okay? And that's simply a list, okay? So bar chart rod data, okay? So this is going to be our, oh la la, sorry about that. Tack. So this is going to be our y. Okay, if I save it, up, you see, good stuff is happening right there. So that's pretty cool. But we're clearly not done yet, because as you can see on the left, that's crazy, and it doesn't really make any sense for now. So what do I want to do is say that the width of that thing is going to be 10, so it's a little bit thicker, and the backdraw rod data show, I want it to be shown, okay? And I want the TOY to be 5, perfect. And the color to be colors dot gray dot shade 300. Okay, and this is just making a scale for everything, all right? And the color right there is the color of the rest of the bar that was not filled with the data that we had right there. And perhaps I want to add the gradient to it, because in our data we have some gradient. So I'm adding the gradient as well to this raw data. Not here actually, but under here. Yes, okay, good. So we don't see it yet, but we will see it in a few seconds. What do I need to add right now? So we have all of this. Make group data is done. Showing groups, that's working as it's supposed to be. Main bar data, are we forgetting some stuff? Yes, we are forgetting some stuff. No, I don't think we are. So if I just reload the entire app, I'm gonna restart the app, guys, because I think I need to. All right, I've just restarted my app and now it's working good. So that's pretty much the last thing is on the left right here. So the left tile. So if I go and do the same as I did previously, right, with those two things right there, except that here I don't want to call get tiles, but I want to call left tile. So up, and I want to, sorry, not like this. I want it to be inside the side tiles. I want to call left tiles. Okay, just like that. Left tiles. I think that's the right name. Don't know what's happening with my Flutter installation. A little bit buggy at the moment. I will get you when it's working. Well, it's not that it was not working, it's just this is constant and doesn't need to be constant. And when I refresh it, you see that everything works fine now. So we have everything. If you look at the design right there, we're pretty close to what was there. We can perhaps add some decoration to everything on the stats.dart, because remember, here we just called my chart, and we have a size box here, but perhaps we want to make it a container. And since we want to make it a container, we can say that there is some decoration to it. Inside the box decoration, colors.white perhaps. Yeah, that's pretty cool. We can say that this is gonna have some padding as well, perhaps 8, but 8 is a bit too low, so let's go for 16 or something like this. Yeah. Um, yeah, perhaps we can say from left to right, and left is gonna be like let's say 12. Top is gonna be a bit more, I think, because the 5K is a bit too much. Right is gonna be 12, and bottom is gonna be 12 as well. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks good. We can add some border radius to that thing. Border radius that's circular, let's say like 12 or something like that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And if we look at our design again, yeah, it's pretty close to what the design gave us. And you see that you can as well put your mouse on it, and it's going to tell you where you are exactly. I mean, you can customize it so much. You can make animation with those things. I mean, it's really crazy. This package, this Flutter chart, the FL chart package, amazing package. Here we are making it super simple, but you can make it so much dynamic. It's crazy. So I've played a little bit with it, but that was really kind of the first time I was building my own kind of graphic without having templates and stuff like that. But it's super easy. Like really, it took me 20 minutes to figure out how it works, and then you can be super productive with it. Like you could say right now, I don't like the width of that thing. I want it to be thicker. Well, you go there, you say 20, and this is going to be just thicker, right? So it really doesn't matter at all. And yeah, so we can add those stuff right here if we want, but I think that's pretty much okay for this expense app. It's already an hour and 40-minute video. So in the big lines, what we managed to do is create this UI. It's dynamic here with our custom data that I'm gonna show right there, right here. We have created some custom data that is populating the list view right here, some cool UI, and as well here utilizing the FL chart package in order to create a very cool graphic that we can use in many different ways. So yeah, I hope you liked the video, guys. If you did like the video, please subscribe, please leave a like, comment. That goes a long way. Tell me if you want to make it more dynamic and if you want to continue building on this app. And if not, that's okay, don't worry. But I'd also appreciate suggestions of the content that you want to see in later videos. And with that, I will say goodbye and see you in the next video, guys. Bye bye.